In 1947, a chilling and mysterious distress signal echoed across the vast Indian Ocean. This wasn't just any ordinary signal, it was a horrifying cry for help, one that left nations like the United States, England, India, and even China on edge. Something terrifying was happening, and no one could explain it. The captains of thousands of ships navigating the Indian, Atlantic, Pacific, and Southern Oceans were gripped with fear as the signal reached their radios. For those unaware, a distress signal is only broadcast in moments of life-threatening danger. As this haunting signal spread, international listening stations and nearby ships pinpointed its source. But what they discovered left even the most seasoned sailors breathless. Without wasting time, a search party was dispatched to investigate this cry for help. Little did they know, what awaited them was far beyond their imagination. The origin of the signal was traced to an infamous ship, the SS Ourang Medan. The story that unfolded would become one of the most chilling maritime mysteries ever recorded. Numerous Dutch, American, and British vessels, along with international listening stations, intercepted the eerie Morse code. The message began with, "The captain is dead. The officers are dead. Bodies are everywhere. I think the entire crew is dead." Before anyone could process these horrifying words, another message followed, "I die," and then silence. This ominous Morse code left everyone stunned. Ships across the region, listening intently, were paralyzed with fear. No one dared respond or approach the origin of the signal, all except one, the American ship Silver Star, which happened to be patrolling near Malaysia. Using their equipment and assistance from other ships, the crew of the Silver Star traced the signal to the Strait of Malacca. The captain of the Silver Star made a bold decision. While other vessels hesitated to go near, Silver Star would embark on a mission to uncover the truth behind this haunting signal. As the engines roared to life, the Silver Star moved steadily toward the coordinates of the SS Ourang Medan. Every crew member on board felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. What could have gone so horribly wrong? Hold on to your heart, because what comes next is beyond strange. After traveling for hours, the captain of the Silver Star finally spotted a distant ship through his binoculars. From his years of experience, he instantly recognized that this ship was completely dead. Its engines had failed, leaving it adrift, carried aimlessly by the sea's waves. This was not a good sign. The distress signal they'd received earlier already hinted at trouble, but now, as they approached the vessel, an eerie silence hung in the air. The bridge, where the steering wheel of the ship would be, was deserted. No crew members could be seen walking or waving for help. When a distress signal is sent from a stranded ship, it's common for the crew to gather on the deck, signaling and calling for assistance. But on the SS Ourang Medan, there was nothing, just silence. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, plunging the ocean into darkness, the ship grew even more ominous. Not a single light shone from the Ourang Medan. No lanterns, no flickering lamps, just an empty, ghostly silhouette against the dark sea. The crew of the Silver Star began to question whether anyone was even alive aboard that vessel. Fear gripped their minds. Was the distress signal sent by something unnatural? Tension reached its peak as the Silver Star drew closer. The captain ordered the pressure whistle, a loud horn, to be blown, and multiple Morse code messages were sent to signal their approach. Yet, there was no response. Only the haunting sound of waves breaking against the ships filled the silence, amplifying the crew's growing unease. After what felt like an eternity, the captain made a bold decision. They prepared to board the SS Ourang Medan. Deep down, they all knew this was no ordinary rescue mission. As the boarding party stepped onto the deck, the crew's worst fears were realized. Their eyes widened in horror as they took in the sight before them. The deck was littered with lifeless bodies. The crew of the SS Ourang Medan, including its captain, had perished in a way that defied explanation. Their corpses lay on their backs, their faces frozen in expressions of sheer terror. And then came the strangest detail. Their hands were raised toward the sky, as if they were shielding themselves from something or someone. In their final moments, they had tried desperately to fend off an unseen force descending from above. Even more chilling was the expression of a dog aboard the ship. Its body lay rigid, its mouth open in a growl as if snarling at the heavens. What could have caused this? What force, what unimaginable terror had these people faced? The eerie uniformity of their deaths raised even more questions. The crew of the Silver Star, trembling with fear, cautiously inspected the ghastly scene before them. Determined to uncover the truth, they moved to the bridge, only to find even more corpses in the same eerie posture. Among them, they discovered the telegraph operator who had sent the distress signal. Unlike the others, his body wasn't sprawled on the ground. He was slumped over the telegraph machine, his hand still resting on the key as if mid-signal. His lifeless body told a different story. His eyes were tightly shut, as though refusing to see whatever had caused this catastrophe. As some crew members ventured further into the ship, they made their way to the engine room, hoping to find some answers. Yet, they were greeted by an even stranger phenomenon. Typically, the engine room of a ship is a blazing hot environment, but here the air was icy cold, as if the room had been transformed into a giant freezer. The horror didn't stop there. More bodies were discovered, lying in the same inexplicable posture. This time, though, something was different. There was no sky to see in the enclosed engine room, yet the position of the bodies suggested they were still trying to fend off some invisible force. The crew examined the SS Ourang Medan and noticed something puzzling. The ship itself was entirely intact. There was no signs of damage, evidence of fire, combat, or any struggle. The engine had simply stopped functioning, but otherwise the ship appeared undisturbed. The condition of the bodies, however, defied all logic. There were no external injuries, no scratches, no bruises, nothing to suggest any physical harm. And yet, all of them were decaying at an unnatural speed. A horrible stench filled the air, as if the bodies had been rotting for days, even though the distress signal had been sent only hours ago. It was as if whatever force had claimed their lives wanted to ensure no trace of its presence remained. The captain of the Silver Star, considering all factors, decided it was best not to disturb the bodies. He believed that handling them might risk spreading a disease. Then the Silver Star's crew reluctantly decided to tow the SS Ourang Medan back to their country for further investigation. Despite the SS Ourang Medan being a relatively light vessel, it felt unusually heavy. The Silver Star's engines roared to full power as it struggled to tow the ship. Suddenly, an ominous black smoke began to rise from within the SS Ourang Medan. The crew acted swiftly, severing the tow line to avoid any potential danger. Moments later, a catastrophic explosion ripped through the SS Ourang Medan, creating a shockwave that momentarily lifted the ship above the water before it was engulfed in flames, leaving behind a stunned and terrified crew aboard the Silver Star. The Silver Star's crew returned to their homeland and reported the events they had witnessed. Yet their story was met with skepticism. Their testimony was dismissed by many as a fantastical tale. Others suggested that the ship may have been registered under a foreign or illegal registry to avoid detection, as it was allegedly carrying highly volatile and illegal materials like nitroglycerin and potassium cyanide. According to this theory, a chemical leak led to the deaths of the crew and eventually caused the explosion that sank the ship. But this explanation raised even more questions. If dangerous chemicals were responsible, why didn't the crew of the Silver Star experience any symptoms of exposure while exploring the ship? And most importantly, why was the ship's engine room so unnaturally cold? Here's where the mystery takes a chilling twist. The coordinates where the SS Ourang Medan reportedly sank align eerily with another infamous disappearance. In 2014, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 vanished without a trace while flying over the same area. The disappearance of the plane and its 239 passengers remains unsolved to this day. Connection between the two events. Where did everyone go? No one knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Planes go up, planes go down. What planes don't do is just vanish off the face of the earth.